right, traders, it is 11 a.m. Let's go ahead and get started. Hey, thanks for popping in to the webinar today to check out what we're talking about. Again, it's going to be a short video on filtering setups inside of our reason, when, and how framework. Just give me a quick check, make sure you can hear me and see my screen. All right, Charles, thank you for responding. Let's go ahead and get started here. All right, here's the disclaimer. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, and you should question everything I say. You can lose everything and more in futures trading. So make sure you're using risk capital when you trade. Let's go ahead and pick up with what we're going to be discussing today. So again, I want to continue with the theme of working inside of our framework, the reason, when, and how. So, this is, again, you've seen this before. We'll continue with it. We won't dwell on it. But the reason is the bias. That tells us whether we should be looking long or short. The layer is layer 2 is when, and that's the timing window. So you need to have a bias, and then you need to have something tell you when you should be looking for a trade setup. And then, how is the defined setup? So the defined setups are the things that we have on the shelf that we pull out and use whenever, the bias and the when come together. And again, as long as especially when you're going back through your recaps at the end of the day, which you should be doing, you need to be asking your question this on all your setups. The trades you take. Don't look at it from a setup perspective, but look at it is that I'm taking this setup because of, you have to have reasons. I mean, if you're just taking it because of the setup, you need to have something behind that, a reason to take that. If it's because the statistical profile says that this setup alone with these filters, and I'm just taking setups and not worried about anything else, is 85% accurate, and you're really playing just a strict numbers game there. Everything is numbers and math, but when you're doing like what trend traders do in the commodities markets, they're just taking positions based off of the math and position sizing accordingly. So we're trying to put things into context to give us more of an edge. That's all we're trying to do here. Now, here are the components. So again, on the reason and the bias, you can have, this is not an all-inclusive list. These are just some of the things that we use. Of course, triple focus is our indicator that we use to, define the bull and bear macro environment. You can use the triple focus divergence. And, you know what? Let me, hey, thanks for reminding me. Let me go and jump in there right quick, and I'll mute everybody's mics. Nothing is locked in at this point. I respect you. Mike Tobin, thank you very much. All right, did that fix it? Yeah, I don't hear anything. Okay, sorry about that. I forgot to do it whenever we checked on. All right, sweet. So anyway, triple focus divergence. If you were in the room today, what do we have? We had three winners today that we took. I think there was a fourth in the room. So you can use trend lines to identify the backdrop, the bias, and of course, the divergence and the counter trend type of reason or bias. But there are other counter trend methods as well. Forget about that arrow; it's out of place. You could use support resistance lines, ICT, whatever. There's no wrong answers over here. The when, well, we're developing timing windows that open up, and the timing windows are based on things that have been happening across multiple chart aggregation periods that we're pulling together and trying to isolate on one chart. So our best two timing windows will be released July, latter part of July, August, and then hopefully we get the other one out by the end of August. So that would be the alpha and the TBP. So those are very unique, and I think according to the statistical profiles that I'm running on those, they're making a big difference in the overall performance. But again, even with these two right here, you still have to have provisions inside of your trade plan to account for the inevitable back-to-back losses. It's going to happen, just the way it is. It's trading. No matter, you can get, a 93% winning system and guarantee you're going to catch two back-to-back or back-to-back losses in a day at some point in time. It's just going to happen. Now, our setups for us, they're on the shelf. It's our inventory. We have profiles on each of these that we know have edge just by themselves. They sit over here waiting for these first two to come together. So when the framework is defined, the bias emerges, the window opens, and then we pull our mechanical setups, which are sitting idle. We pull them off and put them to work. So that's the flow of how everything works. And then of course the outcome, the right time, right reason, right setup. And all because we're trying to specialize. Specialization is crucial, and it's worth the effort to specialize, not spread yourself thin. So that's all this comes together. And does it come together in a week or a month or a quarter? It comes together over years of practice, of employment, of surviving, and that's how it all comes together. So let's go ahead and flip to chart and just take a look at. Let's just pull it over here on the screen. So what you see here, I'm going to walk through this. We're going to set it up. You have our flagship model, which is the setups. You have the Omega timing panel right here, which is the windows. And then we have the triple focus, which is the backdrop that paints everything. So we're going to go in here into the flagship model, and we're just going to cook the books a little bit. We're going to use the stochastics filter on the jiggle. We are going to come down here to we're going to use the Donchian filter. We're going to use the bottom picker panel, top picker panel filter, and we're going to use cumulative delta. Set to 1. Now that cleaned up the chart quite a bit. So now what we have is, we spent 3+ years let me make sure. Can everybody see can you see the chart window that I put up there? Okay, so the chart's present. Okay. I can't see it on my monitor that I'm watching this thing on. So as long as you can see it, that's good. So you see the NASDAQ up there with our indicator package. All right, so as long as you can see it, we're good to go. Let's go back from the start of today, and let's just take a look. Now, the only thing on here that's not filtered, let me just take it off right now. I don't have filtering built in for the 108, so I'm just going to remove that for right now so it doesn't confuse everybody. There is no filtering on the 108. All right, so we had at the open, here we have a reverse mullet entry inside of triple focus, but there's no timing window there. So what I'm looking for is I'm going to just compare and contrast the filtered setups inside of the triple focus bullish bearish environment. That's all we're going to look for. If it's red, we're looking to see what filtered trades popped. If and if it's in conjunction with a timing window, we'll call that out as well. So here was a reverse mullet inside a triple focus, filtered reverse mullet with no timing window. So that one worked okay. Here was a timing window right there, but no filtered setup. Now we took this trade this morning. It was a divergence trade, a counter trend trade, and we got a scalp. We had another counter trend scalp here on the triple focus divergence, and we got that. So here was the first, we had the reset here in the timing window. The panel's still red. And we had the reverse mullet inside the timing window. So that's the first setup where it's filtered and inside the timing window. So the filtering cleans up the charts quite a bit. We're still red. You get the jiggle filtered in the red, no timing window. Puncture trade filtered inside of the red backdrop worked out as well. We're not looking at bullish setups here. We're not even though this reverse mullet and puncture trade worked inside of the timing window wasn't synced up with the backdrop, with the triple focus. Now I'm showing you all this. You may decide to not use triple focus layering to take your trades. You may simply like the filtered versions with the panels that we have for the timing windows. It's your call. I'm showing you everything that we have, that we do. Now, here was one where we had green backdrop. We had the reset, so that means the segment starts over again. There's the timing window, the white. And we had a puncture trade, which was a scalp. All it was a scalp. I tried taking this in the personal account, and of course I'm holding for larger runs, but I took a loss on it, small loss coming out back here. All right, so bearish trades doesn't count. Here is a scalp on a reverse mullet, but no timing window. Another timing window, but no filtered setup. So I'm just walking the dog on this just to show you how some of these things you can use in two different ways to try to help minimize the trades you look for to make the decision. So we know the filtering works on the individual setups, and we know that it improves the raw setups. I mean, I've got tens of thousands of, observations on that to tell us that that works. Now we're just applying some other factors here. So again, a filtered reverse mullet against a triple focus backdrop. No trade there, even though it was a filtered jiggle and a bullish timing window backdrop. So you can't, and the one thing I want to caution you on is that don't ever take just one day's observations and think that's golden for the time. You need thousands of observations to discern, what the proper alignment is, and then you just have to have the patience to wait for that, whenever it unfolds. Okay, again, here was a jiggle inside of a timing window inside of the triple focus, but no filter. Then here was the filtered trade just by itself. So you can see the virtue. Here was it went out of the window, but we still had a a puncture trade inside of the triple focus right here on both of these, but just no timing windows. So you can see just simply triple focus and filtered trades. That's a path to minimizing your setups. You can minimize it even more. Red backdrop, triple focus, timing window, filtered jiggle. I mean, we're at 11 o'clock right now, so that's a lot of trades, but those are all filtered using two different methods. You can use filtered trades against our filtered setups against the triple focus backdrop, or you can wait for the timing windows, filtered trades along with the triple focus. So, all the layers built in. But it's pretty impressive to watch, watch it all play out when it's filtered and you have everything cinched down in alignment. Now, just one word of caution, you may be asking if you're not part of the room, you don't use Predator X, or if you don't use Markers Plus, you're like, well, how would I know if the filter is active? Well, you're going to have to plot those indicators separately. So for the stochastics, for the stochastics, which is part of the jiggle filter, you just have to plot it separately and watch it. As far as the cumulative delta, you'd have to do the same thing. Just plot it underneath your chart. And then when they're in alignment, you take them. Or, if you have Predator X or Markers Plus, you just pull the signal plots that we provide and turn your machine on whenever a setup starts happening. If it's filtered, it'll grab it. If not, it won't. So, yeah, I think that's all I wanted to show you. I want to just, again, these are concept briefs on how I approach the markets. And, I want to try to give you a couple of different avenues because we all look at things slightly different. We know that our setups work. We know that the filtering works on the setups. And we also know that our backdrops, which is the triple focus, layer one in our philosophy, we know that the timing windows, the two best two are coming out. They're really going to be awesome. We know that those are working. We have statistics on those that prove that they're significantly improving above the overall setups. So anyway, hopefully this helps you to think about how you want to attack your trading plan and maybe tweak it. Maybe run some of if you're in the room, maybe, do a little research on the weekends at night to try to refine your process a little bit more. That's all it's about. Get a process, be mechanical, be consistent, take what the market gives you. You're going to have losing days. It's just part of everything. So that's it. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. If you have any questions, you can drop them in. If you're not part of the room, you just drop them into the chat window there. If you are new and you're popping in, we're going to have a 7-day trial coming out probably in August sometime. And we have two different ways to participate. All of our tools are for sale, 20% off. And then if you want to really get the full package where we put the fabric, the stitching over it, tailor it so that you can wear that garment, every day, then, you get both of these, purchase the tools and come into the membership in the Discord room where we tie all the concepts together and wrap it all up in a nice, neat. That was the Dantian mean. Yeah, it was the Dantian mean. It's a filter for the reverse mullet and the puncture trade. And this is how you get in touch with us. So listen, thanks for popping in for this short video. And if we can help you out in any way, just drop me a line. If you have any questions, you can hit me up on my on the Alpha Plus setups Gmail, and we'll go from there. So anyway, as always, good luck in your trading. Hope to see you in the room. Have a good one.